Oh, like I need a shot of whiskey. If I'm being honest, that was crazy. What an emotional roller coaster that game was. End of the day, we were extremely sloppy defensively, which we've usually been pretty good defensively, but we came out and did not put on a display of fundamental baseball tonight defensively, but the resiliency of our guys and willing to bounce back from the adversity, it was tremendous again. So very proud of him for that. Christian Curtis, I thought, threw the heck out of the ball, but got no support behind him. He threw a lot of unnecessary pitches that he should have been out of innings. That took its toll, I think. I think he had the stuff, in the first couple innings that he had, in my mind, really good stuff to potentially go, 5, 6, 7 innings today. Just looked really good and starting to come into his own, but we just kicked it around behind him way too much and got his pitch count up way too high, way too fast. Timmy threw the ball great. Piv, what can you say about him? He just continues to come in and impress. And Owen did his job, and those guys gave us an opportunity to sneak back in that game and win it. So
seems like when you guys do make errors, like you said, you've been good most of the season, but the errors do seem to come in bunches. Is that like a focus thing as a group? Like you kind of detect that when you get to the yard, or is it like a contagious thing?
Baseball is a contagious game. Hitting, defense, offense, pitching, it all seems to kind of snowball together. And again, these are. We're talking specifically, about a young man that's played a pretty good shortstop so far all year long and had a tough day today. You're going to have freshman moments, and even though I don't consider them freshmen anymore, but you're going to have young player moments, I guess, to where, it does snowball on you a little bit. And bottom line, it's fixable. You just got to keep the feet moving. That's the old saying, if you stop your feet, your ball's going to play you, and it's going to eat you up. And, part of it could be focus. These guys are playing very intense baseball games at a young age. And right now, maybe there might be a little bit of mental lapse. But, talking about Luke Hill, I think the important part to remember there is, we all saw he didn't have a great game defensively, but he comes up there in the 6th. With 2 outs and looked like we were going to come up empty right there with, the table being set with the first 2 guys on. Brawny hits the number, Crenshaw strikes out, and Luke Hill comes up with a big knock to put 2 runs across. Then we end up getting another hit, and then Keishel hits the double to tie it. So the fact that he came through in that situation and left the defense out there and focused on his at-bat was huge. That, to me, is progress from a mentality standpoint, and, he's going to learn from this and continue to grow.
You make this many costly mistakes in a game like this, given the implications, it's late in the year, it's really tough competition. Have those expectations for you become heightened at all in games like this, or is it still just regardless of the situation, guys need to make plays?
Yeah, I think that's been the expectations all year. Is we don't put anything out of the ordinary on our guys. We just want them to do the fundamental things better. We ask them to turn a double play and make the routine plays. And that's really all we ask of our infielders is turn a double play and make the routine. And, when you look at, are those plays routine? Yeah. Are those plays double plays should be turned? Yeah. So we expect those regardless of what game we're in. The great plays just happen as a result. I don't expect those, but I do expect the routine plays to be made, and, we gotta get better at that.
Bullpen obviously has left something to be desired the last couple of games, especially during the midweek. How great was it to be able to turn the ball over to Timmy and then later to close out the game? How awesome was it to be able to see the bullpen come in and lock down a game and really not win it for you, but make sure that you're in the opportunity where you're going to win in the bottom of the ninth?
Well, those guys they did what they're capable of doing today. The bullpen came out and had, I think 2 walks over 5 innings. It's not bad, but they, for the most part, pounded the strike zone. Timmy did a great job, kind of keeping the waters calm there for a bit, and we did get into a little bit of trouble, but then Piv came in and just did outstanding again. And so, yeah, it was nice that the bullpen bounced back and did what they're capable of doing today. That certainly gave us an opportunity to win that thing. especially against a lineup that's been pretty hot over there. So that was good.
Specifically on Piv, he just told us that he's put more work, and this is his first year being a pitcher only, he's put more work in the pitching side of his game than he ever has. What have you seen from him over the last 10, 12 months even that's kind of made him the real top line reliever he's been for you?
Just starting to believe in himself that he can be pretty good. And like you said, the focus on just being a pitcher and refining his delivery a little bit. He's kind of has a funky delivery, which I like. Makes it tough to pick the ball up on him. But, just continuing to work on his pitches, getting a little bit more break on his curveball, working on different grips with his changeup. And he threw an absolutely outstanding changeup to Forrester there he hadn't seen that pitch yet from Piv, and that was, for him to just have the confidence to throw it how he did, and that's a pretty dang good hitter that he punched out with that pitch. So, he's just continuing to refine his craft and believing that he's pretty good in the back end of the pen is huge.
As someone who's a former infielder, when you look at the mistakes that guys like Hill and Keachel made at that one point as well, how do you use those as teaching moments to pull those guys aside and sort of tell them, hey, this is kind of what is expected of you, understand that these things are going to happen, but we need you to make these plays, and if so, how do those conversations normally go?
It usually is very plain and simple. Keep your feet moving. Get around the baseball, keep your feet moving. Once you stop your feet and the ball plays you, it's back to Little League stuff. And again, this is fundamental things that the higher you go and the faster the game gets, it still is the fundamental things that ultimately are the root of the problem. And for me, that's, Luke today, he tried to be too quick on the double play and didn't make the transfer clean. And then, a couple of routine balls that he didn't keep his feet moving on. And again, when you make an error, you start playing a little bit defensively. And to me, that's the recipe for having things snowball on you when you start playing defensively. So just staying aggressive, keep the feet moving, and he'll be just fine.
How often do you take the opportunity to pull these guys aside and sort of let them know those kind of things?
Well, there's times throughout the game where they certainly know where I stand. But, it'll be something tomorrow morning that during batting practice, we'll probably hit in the cages tomorrow, but we'll take the infielders out tomorrow to make sure, just a reminder to keep the feet moving, and you can still catch a ground ball. You can still make routine plays. This was a tough day defensively, but turn the page, get back to staying aggressive, and you'll be just fine.
I know you're a guy that likes to take it one game at a time, but we're getting to the point where you got to start looking at building a tournament resume, and this win obviously means a lot more that you won this game instead of lost. How important was it that you came away with the win tonight and don't go down 2-0, you don't lose the series, you get a chance to win it tomorrow?
Well, again, the postseason resume takes care of itself if you take one game at a time. And for me, that's for everybody else can build those resumes. Where our job is to play baseball. My job is to coach baseball. Their job is to play baseball. So that's our focus, to be honest. And I don't mean that to be disrespectful or anything, but we just got to go play and we got to win games. Every game's important, and but it is big. It was big for us to win this game and find a way to win. Even we were down 3 or 4 there in the 6th. We had every intention of going with Piv and Stevenson there at the tail end of that game to give us an opportunity, because this game was that important where we had to try to figure out any way we could to win this one.
Is tomorrow equally important, more important?
Yeah, they're all important. But, tomorrow we can take this series. We got the momentum on our side after this one, and how we ended, yesterday's game was big. So I mean, we went through, burn their closer and their setup guy that are 2 pretty dang good pitchers. And I mentioned a few minutes ago the importance of yesterday's game, getting those 2 guys in the game yesterday. Even though we didn't win, the fact that we got those 2 guys in the game and had to use them a second night in a row, maybe they weren't quite as sharp today because of that late surge yesterday. So if they're I'm not going to coach their team, but if they are used tomorrow, I imagine they're probably not going to be as sharp tomorrow. So that's part of the importance of playing every pitch and playing the game hard all the way to the end. So, tomorrow's a big one too. We'll be ready to play tomorrow.
4 walkouts this season, or there were so many comebacks. Wasn't it
I think just a new breath of mentality, and it's a new group of guys, new crop of guys, and most everybody's on the same page and coming from, whether it's a different program or from high school or there's a few returners, of course, but those are the guys that have been our core guys, from last year, and they're starting to build a mentality and a character. So to me, that's the fun part for me, when you have a team that just won't quit, and you kind of get emotional a little bit when it's like, man, we're down big again, but here we come, and then to see a kid like Jax come through, just a tremendous young man, to see him come through in that situation was it gave me butterflies and chills. It was pretty cool to watch, so was super proud of him.
Can you extend a little bit more on how you've seen him grow over the last 3 months? Obviously, you struggled at the beginning of the year, and now all the way back here. 2 home runs and a walk-off grand slam. What can you say about him?
Again, the beauty and also the heartache at times of our lineup is that we're very young, and we're gonna have these ups and down moments, but no question the talent is there, and it's just a matter of refining them to be baseball players day in and day out, and try to keep them on an upward trajectory throughout the year, and understanding there's going to be dips in the road. There's going to be struggles at times, but I've been trying to remind these guys, you don't learn how to get better unless you fail, and once in a while, but it's how you learn from the failure and how you get back on it and take what happened that how you got your teeth kicked in yesterday, learn from it and put it into play today, and that's how you grow as a player. So again, today there's a lot of teaching moments in today's game that we'll go over tomorrow, but at the end of the day, when they come through in a big moment like that, it makes it all worth it. It's pretty dang neat.
Do you sense in
You've told us a number of times since you took the job, like one of the reasons you came back was to chase that kind of rush of being a player. I noticed on the Isaiah's homer there, when you almost got out all the way out to the first baseline. Does tonight kind of encapsulate that feeling that you were chasing when you took the job?
The last 3 innings, yeah. Last 3 or 4 innings, it certainly was. But, you got to take the good with the bad. I'm not going to lie. The first half of the game, the last 2 games have been, gosh, what's going on? Am I doing a bad job with these guys? Why are they not, but then you see the fight at the end. It's like, okay, they're starting to get some things, but, why the end result tonight, yeah, that's why you do it. The big moment with Piv in there against their best hitter, arguably their best hitter, Forrester, and Sammy and I kind of talking, what do you think we go here? I said, I like the changeup. Right on right. And I said, he hadn't seen it yet. And we kind of both went with it, and it worked. And it's like, yeah, that's kind of the heart gets beaten a little bit, and that's the rush of coaching, I guess. And if you can't do it as a player, that's the rush you get on the side from being a coach. But again, for me, I guess the elation when Jax hit that was just so proud of the kid, so happy for him that's a moment he'll never forget. And hey man, I won't forget it either. I was out there sharing it with him, so very cool, very happy for him.
these guys already seem pretty tight, it's a tight-knit group, and especially when you play games like this, and you talked a little bit about having those moments of adversity that sort of, really prove and attest to who you are as a team. Do you feel like they are that much closer, they grow that much closer in games like this where they have to sort of rally as a team together to, pitch in for this final result?
I 100% agree with that. I think that's character building. When you struggle and you keep fighting through it and show resiliency, that it's character building for your team and for these guys. Again, being young guys that come together on this stuff is, and grow with each other through these type of things is pretty neat. And I think they are a very tight group when it comes to that.